Hello students, how are you doing today? I believe you're fine. I welcome you to today's class. In our previous class, we discussed on the Earth in space. The Earth in space. We explained the Earth as one of the 9 planets where living things naturally live. The Earth comprises of the plants, animals, and living organisms, such as the microorganisms. We also discussed the structure of the Earth, and we explained the four main layers of the Earth. We explained the atmosphere. The atmosphere is the layer where various gases can be found. The biosphere is where the life exists, the layer where life exists. Discuss the lithosphere, where rock materials can be found. And we also discuss the hydrosphere, that is the layer of the water bodies. Also, we discussed the solar system. And the solar system comprises of the sun and all other heavenly bodies that govern around the solar system. The 9 planets, they rotate around the solar system. And we discussed the seasons of the Earth, the seasons of the Earth, the summer, the spring, the autumn, and the winter. For today's class, we will be discussing the concluding part of the topic, this Earth in space, the Earth in space. Now, before we move to the lesson, let's see the learning objectives. At the end of the lesson, the students should be able to, number 1, describe the rotation and revolution of the Earth. Number 2, discuss the rotation and revolution of the Moon. Number 3, divine eclipse. And number 4, explain the formation of solar and lunar eclipse. So these are the learning objectives that you must be able to explain at the end of the class. Now, let's see the rotation and revolution of the Earth. The rotation and revolution of the Earth. Now, first one, rotation. The Earth rotates, that is, turns round its axis in an anti-clockwise direction. This is a clockwise direction, and this is an anti-clockwise direction. So the Earth rotates round its axis in an anti-clockwise direction, and this type of movement or motion is called rotation. The Earth rotates about its axis once in every 24 hours, and this rotation causes the formation of day and night. Rotation of the Earth once in every 24 hours causes the formation of day and night. Now, let's see the pictorial diagram. Results of rotation. Now, this is the sun. This is the Earth. The Earth rotates around its axis. Now, by the time the Earth rotates around its axis and the part of the Earth that is facing the sun, we experience the day because the Earth receives light from the sun. So the part of the Earth that is facing the sun, we experience the day. While the other part that is far away from the sun, we experience the night. So as the Earth rotates on its axis, one half faces the sun. So this half faces the sun, and this half that is facing the sun experiences the day. While the other half that is far away from the sun, this part will experience the night. I believe you understand this. Good. Now let's see the revolution of the Earth. Revolution. The Earth traces a circular path around the sun. The Earth axis also traces a circular path around the sun, and the Earth is said to revolve around the sun. The Earth moves around the sun, And it takes the Earth 365 days, which is equal to a year, to revolve around the Sun. It takes the Earth 365 days, which is equal to 1 year, to revolve around the Sun. Now let's see the picture also. Revolution of the Earth. So the Earth revolves, that is, moves around the Sun. And the Earth takes 365 days. We normally discuss these points here. They are random. Believe in mathematics, they are random. So 365.2422 days. These 2422, they are random. So pick 365 days. So the Earth takes 365 days to complete the revolution, which is equal to 1 year. Now, this is the Sun. So the Earth moves round the Sun. So the Earth moves around the Sun in a circular path. The Earth moves around the Sun in a circular path. And this brings about the revolution of the Earth around the Sun, which takes 365 days for the Earth to move around the Sun, which is equal to a year. Now at this point, I have a video of the rotation and revolution of the Earth. This will aid in understanding of the rotation and revolution of the Earth. Now let me share the video with you. Let me share the video with you now.
The Earth and its movements. The Earth is the third planet from the Sun, and it has a unique characteristic that no other planet we know has. It's the only one that has life on it. Life of all types, plants, animals. Its average temperature is 15 degrees Celsius, and because our planet also has water and an atmosphere, it is the perfect place for life. Like other planets of the solar system, the Earth moves in two different ways. One is called rotation, and the other is called revolution. Rotation is the movement of the Earth on its own axis. Rotate means to turn, so the Earth turns around a slightly inclined imaginary line that joins the two poles called the axis. Do you know how long it takes to make a complete turn? It takes 24 hours to make one rotation. Think about it for a second. One day and night together, lasts 24 hours too. So the movement of rotation causes day and night. Interesting, right? Now let's see the movement of revolution. As you can see in the pictures, the Earth goes around the Sun in an elliptical orbit. That might sound a little strange, but if you look, you'll see it's simply the journey that the Earth makes around the Sun. Do you know how long it takes the Earth to make a complete revolution around the Sun? Well, it takes 365 days, exactly 1 year. This revolution movement is what makes the spring with its colorful flowers, the hot summer full of fun, the autumn when leaves fall from the trees to the ground, and the cold and frosty winter. So let's remember the two kinds of movement that the Earth makes. There is rotation, which is the Earth turning around itself, causing day and night, which lasts exactly 24 hours, the same as a whole day. And there is revolution, which is the Earth traveling around the Sun, which takes 365 days and causes the seasons. So now you know the movements of the Earth. Goodbye everyone, and don't forget to subscribe to Happy
So I believe you enjoyed the video. You've seen the rotation and revolution of the Earth. Rotation of the Earth, it takes the Earth 24 hours, which is equal to 1 day to rotate around the sun. And it also takes the Earth 365 days to revolve, to move around the sun. Good, let's continue our lesson. So let's see the rotation and the revolution of the moon. The rotation and the revolution of the moon. As the Earth rotates and revolves round the sun, also the moon rotates and revolves round the Earth. The Earth rotates and revolves round the sun, but the moon rotates and revolves round the Earth. So, the rotation and revolution of the moon around the Earth is very similar to the Earth rotation around the sun. Now, and it takes about 28 days for the moon to revolve around the Earth once. It takes about 28 days for the moon to revolve around the Earth once. Now, let's see the diagram. This is the moon and this is the Earth. The moon revolves, that is, move round the Earth. The moon moves around the Earth. So when the moon is closer to the Earth, we said the moon is at perigee. The moon is at perigee when the moon is closer to the Earth. So the moon moves around the Earth. This is revolution of the moon, and it takes 28 days for the moon to move, to revolve around the Earth. Now, let's move on and see the definition of eclipse. Definition of eclipse. An eclipse occurs when the sun or the moon cannot be seen because the earth is passing directly between the moon and the sun, or because the moon is passing directly between the earth and the sun. An eclipse occurs when the sun or the moon cannot be seen, meaning that something is blocking the sun or the moon from being seen. Now, an eclipse occurs when the sun or the moon cannot be seen because the earth is in between the moon and the sun, or because the moon is in between the earth and the sun. We have two types of eclipse. The eclipse of the sun, also called the solar eclipse, or the eclipse of the moon, also called the lunar eclipse. Now, firstly, let's see the eclipse of the sun, solar eclipse. Eclipse of the sun occurs when the moon gets into the space between the earth and the sun. Eclipse of the sun occurs when the moon is between the earth and the sun, thereby blocking some part of the earth from receiving light directly from the sun. Here, the earth receives light from the sun. So by the time the moon is in between the earth and the sun, so the moon will be blocking the earth from receiving light from the sun. So at this point, some parts of the earth will experience darkness. Now, let's see the diagram. Eclipse of the sun. This is how eclipse of the sun is formed. This is the sun and this is the earth. This is the axis of the earth orbit, or the earth axis. The earth rotates around this axis. And this is the moon. The moon orbits around the earth. So as the moon orbits, that is, moves around the earth, by the time the moon gets in between the sun and the earth, now the moon will block the earth from receiving light from the sun. So, and you can see this part of the earth will become dark. So this is umbra, meaning this is a total eclipse, a total darkness will occur here. So this is total eclipse will happen here. And this is penumbra. This is a partial eclipse. This partial eclipse will happen at this part of the earth. I believe you understand this. I'll come again. The eclipse of the sun, this is the formation of the eclipse of the sun. This is the sun and this is the earth. So by the time the moon comes in between the sun and the earth, thereby blocking the earth from receiving light from the sun, then eclipse of the sun occurs. The solar eclipse occurs. So some part of the earth, as they are like this, will experience darkness. So either total darkness or partial darkness just for a few minutes. Eclipse normally occurs every year in some parts of the earth. Solar eclipse, as at this year, occurs in India on June 21st. June 21st, solar eclipse occurs in India, and some parts of India experienced solar eclipse this year, June 21st, 2020. Now, let's move on to the lunar eclipse. Eclipse of the moon, lunar eclipse. Eclipse of the moon occurs when the earth gets into the space between the moon and the sun. Eclipse of the moon occurs when the earth is in between the moon and the sun, thereby blocking the moon from receiving light from the sun. So when the earth is in between the moon and the sun, so the earth will be blocking the moon from receiving light from the sun. So lunar eclipse will occur. When this happens, lunar eclipse will occur. Now let me show you the formation of eclipse of the moon, lunar eclipse. Now this is the sun also, and this is the moon. So when the earth is in between the sun and the moon, lunar eclipse will occur. So the earth will be blocking the moon from receiving light from the sun. So when this happens, lunar eclipse will occur. And the moon can turn red because the earth is blocking the moon from receiving light. So at this point, the moon can turn red, and this end is the nickname blood moon. Blood. So when the moon turns red, then we say there is blood moon. So also this is the umbra path, that is total lunar eclipse, and this is the penumbra, the partial lunar eclipse formation. So this is the formation of the eclipse of the moon. Eclipse of the moon. I believe you enjoyed the class. Let's do a quick recap of what we have discussed today. Discussed on the rotation and revolution of the earth. The earth rotates on its own axis around the sun. The earth rotates on its axis around the sun once in every 24 hours, which is 1 day. And the rotation of the earth around the sun causes the formation of the day and night. Also, the earth revolves around the sun once in every 365 days, which is equal to 1 year. Also, we discussed on eclipse and the two types of eclipse, the solar eclipse and the lunar eclipse. Discuss that the solar eclipse occurs when the moon gets in between the sun and the earth, thereby blocking the earth from receiving sunlight from the sun. And the lunar eclipse takes place when the earth comes between the sun and the moon, thereby blocking the moon from receiving light from the sun, and the moon can turn red, and this is the nickname the blood moon. Please, I believe you enjoy the class. And with this, we've come to the end of the class. Thank you for listening. And also, please, you can run through this video again, and also you can also run through your notes on the school website that has been uploaded on the school website. And also you can get more information about this topic in your textbook. Thank you and see you in the next class. Always be safe. Bye.